Hello students, welcome to 7th standard social class. Lesson number 2, Rise of British Political Supremacy in India. Now just take a recap.
You will be able to list the factors that led to the Battle of Plassey. List the reasons for the defeat of Siraj ud-Dawla in the Battle of Plassey. The East India Company felt that the large fee demanded by the Nawabs and the local rulers to carry on trade was unfair. They also felt that the enlargement of settlements, buying of villages, and building of forts, which were banned by the Nawab, were necessary for the expansion of their trade. What the company wanted was a puppet ruler who would act in their favor. So they tried to replace the then Nawab of Bengal, Siraj ud-Dawla, with one of his rivals. This angered Siraj ud-Dawla, and he ordered the company to stop interfering in his governance affairs. He also ordered the company to stop fortifying their settlements and pay their taxes. When the company failed to accede to his demands, the Nawab marched with 30,000 of his men and took control of Qasim Bazar and Calcutta Fort. He cut off all supplies and support to the company's ships. To aid the company, armed forces were sent from Madras under the leadership of Robert Clive. The company's naval fleet was also sent. Robert Clive defeated Nawab Siraj ud-Dawla at a place called Palashi in 1757 in the famous Battle of Plassey. The main reason for Siraj ud-Dawla's defeat was Mir Jafar, one of his commanders, who turned traitor and never fought the battle. Robert Clive had promised Mir Jafar that he would be made Nawab after Siraj ud-Dawla for his services. The Battle of Plassey was the company's first victory on Indian soil. We have learned that the East India Company tried to replace Nawab Siraj ud-Dawla with a puppet ruler. Siraj ud-Dawla took control of Qasim Bazar and Calcutta Fort. Armed forces under the leadership of Robert Clive were sent along with a naval fleet to fight Siraj ud-Dawla. Mir Jafar, one of Nawab Siraj ud-Dawla's commanders, turned traitor and never fought the battle. Robert Clive defeated Nawab Siraj ud-Dawla in 1757 in the famous Battle of Plassey.
In today's session, we learn about Battle of Buxar 1764. When, where, what, why and impact of Battle of Buxar. Now, Battle of Buxar 1764. Mir Jafar failed to fulfill the endless demands of the British, so they dethroned Mir Jafar and brought in his nephew Mir Qasim to power. Causes: Mir Qasim was independent in his outlook after verifying the misuse of dastakas. He made all trade in Bengal tax-free. This made the British face to competition from the Indian merchants. So they dethroned Mir Qasim and brought back Mir Jafar to the throne. Undated by this move, Mir Qasim gained friendship the Nawab of Oudh, Siraj-ud-Dawla and Shah Alam II of the Mughal kingdom. With their help, he declared war against the British in 1764 CE, and this war is the Buxar War. In this battle, Hector Muro of the British defeated the combined forces of Mir Qasim. The Nawab of Oudh took refuge in Rohila Kanda, and Shah Alam took the side of the British. Mir Qasim had to run away from the battlefield. Now let's learn about the results of Battle of Buxar. Mir Jafar again became the Nawab of Bengal. Battle of Buxar stabilized the British East India Company. This war led the expansion of British influence from Bengal to Allahabad. They obtained Diwani right collections of taxes from Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II in Bengal province. In 1765, after the death of Mir Jafar, Nizamud-Dawla became the Nawab of Bengal. I hope do you all have understood the lesson. Now I will going to end of the lesson. Now just take a recap.
It was fought between the English on the one side and Mir Qasim, Shah Alam II and Shujauddaulah on the other. After the Battle of Plassey, Mir Jafar became the Nawab of Bengal. But he was a Nawab in name only. He was a mere puppet in the hands of the English. His treasury was soon emptied by the demands of the company's officials. The company and its servants were no longer interested in mere trade with India. They wanted to use their control over the Nawab of Bengal to drain the wealth of the province. Mir Jafar could not meet the demands of the company and its officials. The responsibility of running the administration lay on his shoulders, but he had no powers. As a result, the administration deteriorated. The English charged him with the neglect of administration and deposed him in 1760. His son-in-law, Mir Qasim, was made the Nawab of Bengal. He rewarded the company by granting it the zamindari of the districts of Bardwan, Midnapur and Chittagong. He was an able, efficient and strong ruler, determined to free himself from the foreign control. He improved both the financial condition of the kingdom and administration and raised a modern and disciplined army. All this was not to the liking of the English. The English merchants carried on private trade without any duties. They began to abuse this privilege. They sold their permits to the Indian merchants, who also began to carry duty-free trade. The Nawab abolished all the duties and deprived the English of the illegal profit. This enraged the company. At the same time, the company and its officials began to oppress and ill-treat the officers of the Nawab and the poor people of Bengal. There could not exist two masters in Bengal. Mir Qasim was defeated in a series of battles in 1763 and fled to Awadh. He formed an alliance with Shujauddaulah, the Nawab of Awadh, and Shah Alam II, the Mughal emperor. The three Indian monarchs clashed with the company's army at Buxar on 22nd October 1764, but were badly defeated. Mir Qasim fled away and was never heard of again. Shujauddaulah and Shah Alam II submitted, and the war came to an end by the Treaty of Allahabad in 1765. The Nawab of Awadh was made to pay a huge war indemnity of 50 lakh rupees to the company and cede the districts of Kara and Allahabad. These districts were handed over to Shah Alam II. Shah Alam II granted the Diwani of Bengal, Bihar and Odisha to the company. The English promised him a pension of rupees 26 lakh a year. This battle is very important in the history of India. The English defeated three Indian princes, became the masters of Bengal, Bihar and Odisha, and used Awadh later on as a buffer state between their possessions and the Marathas. This battle completed the work begun by the Battle of Plassey and made the English company a sovereign power in India. How did the assumption of Diwani benefit the East India Company? The grant of Diwani of Bengal, Bihar and Odisha to the East India Company by the Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II greatly benefited it. It solved the major problem of the company by providing it vast finances, which it was lacking in buying Indian goods. Formerly, it had to import gold and silver from Britain in large quantities to buy most of the goods in India. At that time, Britain had no goods to sell in India, which could fetch her finances to buy Indian goods. But the Diwani of Bengal, Bihar, and Odisha not only helped her to meet administrative expenses, but also enabled her to buy Indian goods to be exported to Britain. In short, we can say that the assumption of Diwani by the East India Company solved all her problems to purchase cotton and silk textiles in India, to bear the expenses of the administrative setups, to maintain the troops, and to carry on her various building activities in India, like building the company port and offices at Calcutta.
Now, homework time. Thank you, student. See you in next video.